This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Now they're letting him go after he did such a violent act. So, against his best friend, his father. And this isn't just he didn't just murder his father, he murdered another human being. And I don't want that to ever happen to anybody else, because nobody else should have to go through that.
And there was a lot of participation there, so that's really good. It's really good to see people that are really interested in this and want good things to come from it.
It's in one pass through every household through the city of La Crosse, up to 5 items per tax parcel, standard large items, mattress, box spring, furniture, that kind of thing.
Good morning, everyone. That was your morning eye-opener. I'm Sophia Pullman.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is Wednesday, May 24th. I sat outside after work for a long time and enjoyed it.
Nice. Good for you.
I'm hoping to do it again today.
I think you will. So finish that book outside.
Right?
It's going to be nice. A little cooler today, but, you know, definitely nothing compared to, like, you know, the winter season or anything like that. So no worries there. We are expecting some pretty comfortable temperatures that I will say to you as we head into this afternoon. So don't get worried about the cool conditions that I'm talking about today, because it will feel comfortable. In the meantime, we are looking at a few clouds moving in from the north. Radar picture is quiet. Temperatures into the 50s, 54 in Winona, 56 in La Crosse, 53 in Sparta, just shy of 60 in Viroqua, 48 in Bosquebel, 51 Prairie du Chien at the moment. So here's a look at your planner. We're expecting just another day of mixed clouds and sunshine. Temperatures into the 60s through 11 o'clock, and then we're in the 70s here this afternoon, with highs expected to reach around 72 today in La Crosse. And your allergy report today, everything is medium. The oak and birch pollen season is ending. Meanwhile, as that ends, the pine and grass season are beginning. So everything medium today and also for tomorrow as far as that symptom index go. Thanks to our allergy associates from our friends over in La Crosse. But stay with us. I'm going to have a check on your Schoolcast plus your full weather forecast still to come in just a few minutes. Sophia?
Thanks, Derek. Let's get to some news this morning. According to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, 6-year-old canine Colt died May 15th after a heat-related incident. Colt's handler, Alex Moss, resigned after previously being placed on administrative leave. The Vernon County Sheriff's Office and Juneau County District Attorney's Office are still investigating the canine's death. A Jackson County man committed for killing his father is being released to Juneau County. Judge Mark Goodman adopted a plan to release 29-year-old Lars Helgeson. News 8 Now's Dua Ishrar spoke to Helgeson's family members who say they're disappointed with the decision.
Very sad.
The Helgeson family says they want to move forward with their lives.
I mean, I don't think he should be released. I think he should be in prison for the rest of his life.
Doing that is difficult.
I guess they all kind of decided that it was better for him to go there, which if it's a life sentence, that's fine, but it just doesn't seem right, I guess.
In 2013, 29-year-old Lars Helgeson was charged with fatally shooting his father and then burning and burying the body in an ATV track. In 2017, he was found not guilty by reason of insanity and committed to the Mendota Mental Health Institute. Last year, a doctor examined Helgeson and told the judge Helgeson is not a danger to himself or others.
He's been under his medication for, I'd say, 14 months, something like that now.
The 29-year-old petitioned the court and was granted release. On Tuesday morning, the court reviewed and adopted a confidential release plan. Helgeson's older brother Bjorn says he has concerns.
Where do we go from here, I guess? That's the supervision. That part is what's worried me. As the years go on, is the supervision going to be less and less? Or is the restrictions going to be less and less? That's a lot of unknown things, I guess.
In a statement, Jackson County DA Emily Heineck says she objected to Helgeson's release. Judge Mark Goodman signed an order for placement that states Helgeson would not pose, quote, a significant risk of bodily harm to himself or others if conditionally released in the community. So while the Helgeson family wants to move on,
it's never the end.
Bjorn says this is something that will follow them forever.
It's always going to be kind of looking over your shoulder. Unfortunately, that's how my father died, was snuck up on. So it's just, you're always going to be looking over your shoulder, I think.
Reporting in Jackson County, Dewes Schrar, News 8 Now.
A no contact order was placed, meaning Helgeson cannot contact several family members without their consent. Helgeson was not in court and appeared via Zoom. Construction on LaCrosse Street is now complete. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation says it's finished the final piece of pavement work between 22nd Street and Losey Boulevard. The 2-month project finished ahead of its early June deadline, meaning LaCrosse Street will be ready to receive the thousands of visitors for State Track next month. WisDOT is also asking for community feedback on a large improvement project for Highway 16. Plans are in the works to redo the road between LaCrosse Street and South Kinney Cooley Road. WisDOT says the existing pavement is breaking down and the LaCrosse River bridges, curb ramps, and guardrails are not meeting current standards. The agency is taking public comment now until June 30th on their website. LaCrosse residents are sharing their ideas for the future of the Lincoln Middle School building. Architectural firm ISG is partnering with the LaCrosse School District to hold open meetings for the public to discuss the building's redevelopment. The feedback from the meetings will help developers create a plan to boost the property and surrounding neighborhoods. One ISG representative says large community support has helped them create an outline for a project.
And there was a lot of participation there, so that's really good. It's really good to see people that are really interested in this and want good things to come from it.
We'll have more information about the redevelopment on our website. A dog park is coming to the town of Campbell thanks to one area Boy Scout. Campbell Town Board members voted 3-2 to put a dog park in one of its neighborhoods. But for some, the park's neighbors, it's not so exciting.
A project born out of a love for his dog.
It'd be nice if there's an area where the dogs can just run around freely.
Dominic Krelling's idea became his Eagle Scout project.
Planning it's have been all the way almost a year and 4 or 5 months ago.
A dog park at Central Place and 2nd Avenue in the town of Campbell.
I think I've raised a little over $8,000.
The park's neighbors love their dogs too.
It's not about me, it is about our dogs. It is about our child. It is about those things.
But those neighbors, some who live right in the park's backyard, aren't interested in seeing that change.
It affects my dogs, it affects my neighbors and their dogs, and you know, the sanity and anxiety of the dogs, but also the humans.
Out of Town of Campbell meeting Tuesday night, neighbors shared concerns about what adding that park would mean for their dogs and their neighborhood.
Dog parks are sun up to sundown, and folks are out there 365 days a year.
Ultimately,
there's a lot of options to mitigate a lot of the concerns that have been brought forward tonight.
The park passed.
Ayes have it. Motion carries.
I'm feeling really defeated about the decision.
Still, neighbor Whitney Foucher says she wants to work together, and Dominic's work is far from over.
I'm just going to focus on working with the neighbors as much as I can, and that's going to be my main thing now, is going to be working with them to hopefully make the nuisance on them as little as possible.
Coming together for all walks of life.
Dominic says that now he has just a few months to get the park up and running before he leaves for college. A La Crosse nonprofit is welcoming stories from local adventurers. La Crosse Adventure Films brought outdoor recreation enthusiasts to the pump house to allow them to share their stories with La Crosse residents. The latest guest is rock and alpine climber Dave Groth, who's climbed everywhere from Scotland to Patagonia. Organizers say giving adventurers a chance to share experiences has the power to inspire others to get outdoors.
We wanted to highlight people in our area that are, let's say, unsung heroes in outdoor adventure, that are doing cool things in each of their respective fields in outdoor adventure, and to give them a stage to tell their story.
The speakers also got to name a local nonprofit to receive donations. Groth chose ORA Trails, who are working to clean up Grandad's Bluff. Adventure Films' next planned outing will be June 27th. Navigating a healthcare system can be stressful for some people, but especially teens and young adults.
In many situations, our healthcare system, especially for women or for non-binary folks, it's very complicated to navigate.
Feminism Untapped hosted a presentation by Patch, Providers and Teens Communicating for Health. The La Crosse County-based groups help teens have open conversations with healthcare professionals.
There's a lot of things that teens may not feel comfortable talking about in front of their parent or guardian, but still need to be discussed with their doctor. And it also allows them to have more independence and start to gain that responsibility before they can become adults.
Presenters talked about how teens can advocate for their own health when seeing a doctor and what rights they have when they're in a doctor's office. Each summer, thousands of students move out of La Crosse and back home, leaving behind lots of furniture. For several years, the city of La Crosse has partnered with Harder's Quick Cleanup Service. For a 2-week period, Harder's provides 2 additional trucks to pick up unwanted large items. Currently on week 2, one Harder's co-owner encourages people to take advantage of this free temporary service.
It's in one pass through every household through the city of La Crosse, up to 5 items per tax parcel, standard large items, mattress, box spring, furniture, that kind of thing.
All La Crosse residents are eligible for a pickup service. Pickup days correspond with your scheduled recycle day. Harder's has already completed cleanup between West Avenue and the Bluffs. Schaller says anyone living between West Avenue and the river will be visited between now and Friday. For more information regarding large item cleanup, visit our website, news8000.com. Still ahead on your morning news, Uber is partnering with Waymo to bring robo-taxis to their customers. And a new report identifies cars that can keep your teens safe while on the road. That and more coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Baseball fans in New York tend to think they've seen it all, but there's always something new that can happen at a baseball game. Last night at Yankee Stadium, it wasn't a great catch or a 450-foot home run. Instead, it was a squirrel that straddled the top of the wall during the Yankees game, giving the fans in the front row something they never expected. Squirrels in New York get braver every season. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning after the break.
Well, overall, a mostly sunny start here across the area this morning. Just a few clouds moving in there from the north, but that should not affect anything with your dog walking conditions if you plan on doing so, because we got lots of sunshine this morning and also into this afternoon with just a few clouds for the evening walks here later today. Current temperatures as you head out the door are mainly into the 50s, 56 in both La Crosse and to the north in Eau Claire, 54 currently in Winona, 46 though Black River Falls. It has warmed up in Sparta. You were earlier in the 40s. Now you have warmed up into the low 50s. So for your zone forecast today, we are expecting that our temperatures will be warming up into the 70s come this afternoon with a high of 72 in Berry Mills and 71 today in Holman. Our temperatures warm to 73 in Soldiers Grove with a high of 70 in Westby today, 76 in New Albin, highs reaching 70 in Melrose, 72 in Trempealeau, and Osseo reaching 68 degrees, 68 as well in Chippewa Falls as well, 69 in Eau Claire, and a high of 68 in Fall Creek. So for your schoolcast this morning, we are looking at temperatures around 59 degrees, mostly sunny, followed by on the way back home this afternoon, we warm up to 72 degrees under partly cloudy skies. I'll be back a little bit later with your full weather forecast in just a bit.
In your consumer news this morning, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says a salmonella outbreak has been linked to Papa Murphy's cookie dough. The products are raw chocolate chip cookie and s'mores bar dough. 18 people in 6 states have gotten sick, and 12 of the 18 people reported eating the Papa Murphy's products. Consumers should throw the products away, even if they've eaten some of it without getting sick. Waymo and Uber announced a partnership that would allow Uber riders to schedule rides in Waymo's robo-taxis. Waymo makes autonomous driving technology so their vehicles do not have human drivers at the wheel. The companies say later this year, Uber customers in Phoenix, Arizona will be able to hail a ride and choose a robo-taxi for food delivery from Uber's app. Their announcement said the partnership between both companies will be a multi-year deal. Netflix has outlined how it intends to stop password sharing in the U.S. It's an attempt to attract more subscribers to its video streaming service. Netflix will limit viewership of its programming to people living in the same household. Those who subscribe to Netflix standard or premium plans will be able to allow another person living outside their household to use their password for an additional $8 per month. Memorial Day weekend signals the start of the summer driving season and an increase in accidents on the road. Teenage drivers are at especially high risk, but a new report identifies vehicles that can help keep young drivers safe.
When Pat Georgides' daughter got her license, he had a backup camera and parking sensors installed on her 2006 vehicle.
Being a first-year driver, you never know what's going to happen. Their lack of experience is always an issue.
The CDC says teenagers are 3 times more likely to be involved in a fatal accident compared to older drivers. That's why experts say car safety is key.
So we tried to come up with a list that met a pretty high level of safety, reliability, and we tried to pick vehicles that were reasonably affordable.
David Zuby is with the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, which teamed up with Consumer Reports to create a list of recommended vehicles. There are 62 used and new cars ranging in price from $6,600 to almost $40,000. All the vehicles protected drivers during crash tests and are equipped with electronic stability control, which can prevent an accident. The new vehicles on the list also received a good rating because their controls are easy to use.
Cars have gotten so technologically complicated that we don't want ones with difficult controls that may distract a young driver from the task at hand of driving.
Parents searching for a car are finding higher prices, which exploded during the pandemic. But experts say spending extra for a safe vehicle is money well spent.
Some of the cars on the list are the Kia Soul, Toyota Camry, and the Honda CR-V. That's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek in today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that, Sophia. Overall, a beautiful start here this morning. Look at that gorgeous view from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse. And in La Crosse, our current conditions stand at 56 degrees. Visibility looking crystal clear as well at 10 miles. Light easterly winds at 7 miles an hour. Meanwhile, to the north in Eau Claire, also looking at 56 degrees here. Lots of sunshine. Northeast winds at 9 miles an hour. And visibility also looking good at 10 miles. Meanwhile, current temperatures across the area mainly into the 50s as you head out the door this morning. Some spots like Basketball, one of the cooler spots at 49 degrees. Black River Falls is currently at 46 here. So we're seeing some cool spots, but for the most part, things are looking relatively mild with temperatures in the 50s. However, we will be warming up into the upper 60s to low 70s as we head into this afternoon today. Now, getting a check on your day planner, we start off with 59 degrees at 7, mostly sunny, 69 and still mostly sunny by noon, followed by partly cloudy and temperatures at 72 by 4 p.m. this afternoon. And then by 8 o'clock, 64 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. The radar picture is pretty quiet. We are watching a few clouds moving in from the north. We are watching a cold front as well that just moved through overnight. And that alone is giving us some cooler conditions here to work with, not just for this morning, but also as we head into this afternoon. We won't hit the 80s today because of that cold front that brought us some cooler air. In addition to that, we're also going to be watching an area of high pressure that's going to be building in behind the front and positioning itself, as you can see, across the Great Lakes region as we head into tomorrow and also through Friday. And this system is going to help reinforce the dry and quiet weather conditions that we've been experiencing here lately across the Coulee region. Now, it's going to be a little bit broader here in nature as we head into Saturday. Even though the high is kind of moving away, we're still going to be under the influence of it because the system will still be pretty broad here even as we head into this weekend. Now, in addition to the quiet weather and dry conditions from that high, we're also expecting some pretty warm and above average high temperatures to work with here over the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook here coming from the Climate Prediction Center. And you'll notice that our highs as a result will be into the 80s, which is a little bit above average for this time of the year, especially the mid 80s. But that probably won't happen until later next week on Tuesday and also into Wednesday. So enjoy the 70s here through Saturday before that warm up hits on Sunday and also into the first half of next week, I should say, under a mix of clouds and sunshine. Low temperatures go from the 40s over these next few days to the 50s and low 60s as we head into this weekend and also into the first few days of next week. All right, stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. We're taking a quick break with a look at what happened on this day in history for May 24th. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Blitz. The high school spring sports season is in its final phase with state tournaments right around the corner. Softball regionals continuing yesterday. We'll get to that in a bit, but we'll start with a few athletes taking time out of their busy schedule to make the next chapter of their athletic and academic careers official. 5 Blue Golds making that commitment yesterday in the Reinhardt Athletic Complex at Aquinas High. We'll start with one of the fastest guys in the state. This young man can fly. Blue Gold senior Colin Kenzemius gearing up for the state tournament in a couple of weeks at UWL. That's where he'll spend his college career as Kenzemius signs his letter of intent to join the Eagles track team. Also committing to UWL, one of the best wrestlers in school history, Tate Flegge, the senior, a 3-time state qualifier and reigning state champ. Flegge will be joining the Eagles wrestling team. How about Calvin Hargrove, the multi-sport athlete, will be staying in lacrosse as well. He'll make Copeland Park his new home as Hargrove commits to the UWL baseball team. Aquinas senior Andrew Sutton is another multi-sport athlete for the Blue Golds. He'll still be a Blue Gold in college as Sutton commits to play soccer for the UW-Eau Claire Blue Golds. And last but not least, 2-time state football champ Henry Suddy will be heading to Loras College in Dubuque, Iowa to join the Dewhawks football squad. Congrats to all 5 of these exceptional young men as they prepare for that next chapter. Softball regionals yesterday. Let's start in Cashton. Eagles playing host to Onalaska Luther. Bottom 5, home team down 3. Luther's Hannah Matsky fans this batter. Luther holding on to a 4-1 lead. Top 6 now. Luther looking to pad it. Cashton's Sarah Schroeder picking up the K. Cashton's still down by 3 though. Jump to the 7th now. Walk is going to bring in a run for Luther. Visitors now up by 4. Later that inning, Peyton Holub going to collect the base hit up the middle. 2 runs are going to come in to score. Luther goes up 7-1, and that is your final. Knights travel to Blair Taylor Thursday. Wildcats beat Loyal Greenwood 15-0 in 3 innings. Down the road in Westby, the 1-seed Norris hosting Westfield. Top of the first, Westby's Jada Berg gets the strikeout there. Game stays scoreless. Bottom half of the frame, Berg doing it all. Single right here in a shallow center. 2 runs are going to come across the dish. Norse take a 2-0 lead. Later that inning, Westby's Whitney Hansen grounds it to a fielder's choice. That brings in another run. Norse go up 3-0. Top of the second now, more from Berg. She collects 2 strikeouts in the second. Westby would add 1 more as they go on to win it 4-0. Norse will host Prairie du Chien on Thursday. Let's keep it going. Division I regionals in Holman. Vikings hosting Monona Grove. Top 1, Silver Eagles strike first. Izzy Jar gets the out, but Monona Grove goes up by 2. Eagles still threatening here. This ball is going to be scorched the other way, but a nice grab in right gets Holman out of a jam. Bottom 2 now. Here come the Vikings. Macy Klein serves a base hit in the left. That's going to score 2. Meredith Korish slides in safe. Holman jumps out in front 3-2. Klein's pumped up. Holman's moving on. They get the win 10-6. Vikings will play Thursday against Madison Memorial. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Spanish authorities arrested 7 people in relation to incidents of racist abuse directed at soccer star Vinicius Jr. this season. According to police, 4 young men were taken into custody for allegedly hanging an effigy off of a Real Madrid player of a bridge. 3 others were arrested on suspicion of being involved in racist insults aimed at the Brazilians during Sunday's game against Valencia. Officials are treating both incidents as hate crimes. German prosecutors say criminal procedural measures are taking place in Portugal in a renewed search for missing British girl Madeleine McCann. The 3-year-old vanished in southern Portugal in 2007 while on vacation with her parents. Now, based on a new tip, investigators from 3 countries are combing through a wooded area around a remote reservoir to look for evidence that might explain what happened to her. Maxar has collected new satellite imagery that shows the aftermath of flooding and storm damage in a northern region of Italy. Many farms, vineyards, and fields remain partially flooded and covered in mud. Recovery and construction crews are busy working on cleaning streets and removing storm debris. Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes, but there is another water feature that stands above others. John Lauritsen introduces us to one of South Minneapolis' most treasured towers.
Take a stroll through any old town in Minnesota, and the first thing you'll notice is the water tower.
There's a teapot in Lindstrom and a fishing bobber in Pequot Lakes. Rochester has a giant corn cob, and Ogilvie has a medieval-looking fortress.
They're really icons. They stand tall.
Minneapolis alone has quite the variety, from the witch's hat to the Kenwood standpipe. But when it comes to pure architecture, the Washburn Tower stands alone.
I mean, it's picturesque, it's serene, it's nice.
It all started in the 1880s when this was farmland way outside the city of Minneapolis.
Tom Balcom once wrote about the history of this little-known place. He says the first tower was made of brick and supplied water to a local orphanage. But as Minneapolis expanded, it outgrew Tower Number 1. So in 1931, Tower Number 2 was built out of concrete, and with some added company.
Around the base of the tower, you can see what are called Guardians of Health.
There are 8 of them in all. Architect Harry Wild Jones helped design the Guardians, which are also known as water soldiers. Jones wanted them there because at the time, typhoid, an infection that spreads through water, was making people sick in Minneapolis.
Each of the Guardians is nearly 30 feet tall from the ground to the top of the helmet, and each one weighs about 8 tons.
While they guard the water, eagles keep an eye on the neighborhood. Each of them weighs about 5 tons. Jones added them after a construction worker was attacked by an eagle while building his home. Both man and raptor survived the confrontation. The city stopped using the Washburn standpipe in 2005, but people still look at it as a symbol for the neighborhood. Volunteers keep the park clean, and a fence has been added to protect what the Guardians can't. It's proof that no matter where you live, there's so much more to these towers than meets the eye.
Hopefully we'll be here for many more years and decades to come.
If you want to see the water tower in person, it is located on Prospect Avenue in the Tangletown neighborhood of South Minneapolis. Minnesota's legislature ended last night before the midnight deadline with a full budget ready for the governor's signature. Democrats had control of the House, Senate, and governor's office for the first time in 10 years and passed bills that protect abortion rights, give free breakfast and lunch to all kids in schools, strengthen gun regulations, and legalize cannabis. Republicans say the budget has too much government overreach and criticize tax and fee increases. Shared revenue talks in Wisconsin are ongoing, but if a deal isn't reached, Milwaukee could run out of money. Republican leaders who control the Senate and Assembly are disagreeing on a key part of the plan, a decision on who determines whether the Milwaukee city and county can raise the local sales tax to pay for pensions and emergency services. If no state aid goes to Milwaukee, the city could go bankrupt in 2025 when federal pandemic money runs out. What started as a required volunteer activity for school turned into something for fun. We go to Antigo, Wisconsin, where a young boy is spreading joy one card at a time.
I like the Legos.
In many ways, Lucas Smith embodies every other 5-year-old.
Well, I'm trying to make my cave.
The world revolves around him some days, but he wants to include others in that.
I'm trying to get the stickers out, Mom.
Inclusion through birthday cards.
Oh, there we go.
It all started as a community service requirement for Rural Virtual Academy.
Well, this is kind of cool to do.
He decided that he was going to make birthday cards for every kid in Antigo, and that's what he wanted to do. And we got our hours in that we needed, and he just wanted to keep doing it.
Not for extra credit.
LHH.
Just out of the kindness of his growing heart.
It was like happy mom heart. I was so excited that he was so loving and wanted to give back.
I like about drawing inside the cards, and then outside the cards putting stickers on is my favorite.
Lucas sees his world through a different lens.
They think he might be on the spectrum, but we don't have an official diagnosis yet.
Pretty good.
That's awesome.
The cards keep his creative mind focused.
And here's Cucaloda.
I think right now he's kind of more in it that he wants to make the person feel happy, and that's just the end of goal for him.
Run! This was his first birthday card this year.
Eddie Novak just turned 5 a few weeks ago. After seeing a Facebook post, Mom put in a request for a Lucas card.
I love your new friend, Lucas. Sweet words.
Words she hopes will inspire more kindness.
It just shows that he wants to spread happiness and just share some joy with the other kids.
You want to do some robot ones? Yeah. Okay, there you go.
I just hope that he kind of like takes away like the kindness for people you might not know.
Can you get me a yellow crayon, buddy?
As long as Lucas keeps getting requests, he'll keep spreading the joy. One card and one sticker at a time.
And I'm so proud of him.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
What a feel-good story. Here is Derek to tell us what our driving conditions are looking like today. Derek?
All right, thanks for that, Sophia. Things are looking pretty dry on the radar picture. We're watching a few clouds here across the area on the satellite picture, but other than that, current conditions are still looking nice and quiet here this morning with temperatures in the 50s for the most part. Black River Falls, you're almost there with the rest of us this morning into the 50s, but just shy of that at 49. Preston's at 57, Eau Claire's at 56, and so is La Crosse. Viroqua is currently at 57 degrees. Your forecast overall today, 72, very nice, partly cloudy skies and a little cooler here. Winds out of that easterly direction at 10 to 15. For tonight, temperatures dropping to 46 degrees, a little unseasonably cool for this time of the year under those partly cloudy skies and east winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Driving conditions this morning are looking pretty nice, mostly sunny skies. We are expecting that pattern to last through at least a lunch hour before a few more clouds begin to sneak in here as we head into early this evening. But overall, those quiet and calm weather conditions lasting throughout the day, which does include your mowing forecast today as well, with mostly sunny skies between 8 and noon. 71 degrees, partly cloudy by 5. Really doesn't matter which time you pick here. Expecting overall very good mowing conditions to work with today. Now, coming up in our Buzz Report, Blake Shelton says his final goodbye to The Voice. Stay with us. We'll be right back, plus your full weather forecast after the break. Well, it sure is a beautiful start from City Cam 8 from downtown La Crosse. As you can see behind me, we are looking at 56 degrees with just a few clouds roaming around the area. Visibility looking good at 10 miles. Easterly winds light at 7 miles an hour. Meanwhile, those current conditions to the north in Eau Claire are very similar. Lots of sunshine here, 56 degrees. Northeast winds light at around 9 miles an hour. And visibility also looking crystal clear at 10 miles. So very good driving conditions for your morning commute. In the meantime, our current temperatures stand into the 50s. Some spots, though, like Black River Falls, still struggling to get out of the 40s this morning, but as you can see, most locations are into the 50s as you head out the door this morning, with forecast highs today expected to be either into those upper 60s, if not those low 70s this afternoon. Expecting a high of 70 today in Eau Claire and 72 degrees this afternoon in La Crosse. Here's a look at your planner. 59 degrees by 7, 69 and mostly sunny by noon, and by 4 o'clock we're partly cloudy, 72 degrees being the temperature, followed by skies turning mostly cloudy as we head into early this evening, with temperatures dropping here a little bit to about 64 degrees. Everything is looking very dry and quiet here on our satellite and radar picture. Nothing on the radar here across the local area. A few clouds here positioned to our north. Here's the cold front that just moved through overnight here, and behind it we are looking at some slightly cooler temperatures here to work with, not just for this morning, but really throughout the remainder of the day today. Now, this front is going to continue to move off towards the south, and building behind the front is this broad area of high pressure that's forecast to take shape and move south and position itself here across the Great Lakes as we head into tomorrow and through the day on Friday. And this system alone is going to help continue to control our weather environment by bringing us lots of quiet conditions, just a mix of sun and clouds, dry air, and also it's going to help warm us up here, which I'll get to here in a second. But here's Saturday, and you can see it kind of moving away from us, but the system is so broad in nature that it's really just going to help continue to keep our weather pattern nice and quiet. Now, I did mention that our temperatures will be warming up here over the next several days. Specifically, the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook as we head into that first week of June does show that our temperatures will be well above the average here for this time of the year. In fact, you'll see it on the 8-day forecast as this comes up. We're going to remain into the 70s today through Saturday, but as we head into Sunday, our highs climb into the low 80s, and then we could be as warm as the mid 80s as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, which is a little above average here for this time of the year, as we mentioned. So lots of mix of sun and clouds here over these 8-day forecasts, maybe a slight chance of a thunderstorm by Wednesday. We'll keep our eyes on that, though. Lows going from the 40s over these next few days to the 50s as we head into Sunday and also into early next week.
In our Morning Buzz report, Jeff Bridges is opening up about his battles with cancer and COVID. The Oscar-winning actor tells AARP magazine that thanks to chemotherapy, a 9 by 12-inch tumor is now the size of a small marble. But the chemo also wiped out his immune system, and he was then hospitalized for 5 weeks with COVID. The 73-year-old star recovered and went back to work on season 2 of his FX series, The Old Man. A key member of the TV singing competition show The Voice is saying goodbye. Country music star Blake Shelton appeared for the final time on the show during Tuesday's finale. Shelton has had an impressive run, appearing in 445 episodes spanning 23 seasons in 12 years. Shelton says he is leaving to spend more time with his family and focus on his country music career.
Today, our teacher taught us about a place called Africa. She say our mamas come from Queens over there. That means that we royalty.
Alice Walker's Pulitzer Prize winning story, The Color Purple, is returning to theaters as a musical. The story follows 3 black women struggling to make ends meet in the South during the early 1900s. Fantasia Barrino and Danielle Brooks reprise their Broadway roles. Taraji P. Henson and Halle Bailey and Her also star. The Color Purple arrives in theaters Christmas Day.
You must be cleared of all your sins. Are you ready for your clearing?
Hulu's new psychological thriller, The Clearing, debuts this week and dives into the dark world of cults. Star Teresa Palmer says the heavy subject matter made for a weird work-life balance during filming.
Do you like those thriller movies?
No,
No?
not at all.
Okay, yeah, I'm a fan of some thriller. I can't name you any, but I do like them. And the horror movies, sometimes they get a little bit too much for me. But
No, I'm a big reader too, and I read a thriller book.
Yeah.
And same thing. I just
okay, yeah,
not
your
a
mind is
fan.
just like, oh, I gotta close the book. Right?
Just like the entire time you're at like
yeah, you have those
this
emotions
like anxious
build.
level, and
Right.
then it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't like
just
it.
it's a thrill of emotions.
Derek, stop. Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, so we have one birthday to celebrate today, and it's to Ronnie. Now, he's turning 88 today. Now, Ronnie enjoys his vintage Ford tractor, classic cars, and hunting.
Happy birthday, Ronnie. If you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for that Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next. According to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, 6-year-old canine Colt died May 15th after a heat-related incident. Colt's handler, Alex Moss, resigned after previously being placed on administrative leave. The Vernon County Sheriff's Office and Juneau County District Attorney's Office are still investigating the canine's death. Construction on LaCrosse Street is now complete. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation says it's finished the final piece of pavement between 22nd Street and Losey Boulevard. The 2-month project finished ahead of its early June deadline, meaning LaCrosse Street will be ready to go to receive the thousands of visitors for State Track next month. WisDOT is also asking for community feedback on a large improvement project for Highway 16. Plans are in the works to redo the road between LaCrosse Street and South Kinney Cooley Road. WisDOT says the existing pavement is breaking down and the LaCrosse River bridges, curb ramps, and guardrails are not meeting current standards. The agency is taking public comment from now until June 30th on their website. Navigating a healthcare system can be stressful for some people, but especially teens and young adults.
In many situations, our healthcare system, especially for women or for non-binary folks, is very complicated to navigate.
Feminism Untapped hosted a presentation by Patch, providers and teens communicating for health. The La Crosse County-based group helps teens have open conversations with healthcare professionals.
There's a lot of things that teens may not feel comfortable talking about in front of their parent or guardian, but still need to be discussed with their doctor. And it also allows them to have more independence and start to gain that responsibility before they can become adults.
Presenters talked about how teens can advocate for their own health when seeing a doctor and what rights they have when they're in a doctor's office. Each summer, thousands of students move out of La Crosse and back home, leaving behind lots of furniture. For several years, the city of La Crosse has partnered with Harder's Quick Cleanup Service. For a 2-week period, Harder's provides 2 additional trucks to pick up unwanted large items. Currently on week 2, one Harder's co-owner encourages people to take advantage of its free temporary service.
It's in one pass through every household through the city of La Crosse. Up to 5 items per tax parcel, standard large items, mattress, box spring, furniture, that kind of thing.
All La Crosse residents are eligible for a pickup service. Pickup days correspond with your recycle pickup day. Harder's has already completed cleanup between West Avenue and the Bluffs. Schaller says anyone living between West Avenue and the river will be visited between now and Friday. For more information regarding large item cleanup, visit our website.
As you head out the door this morning, temperatures are in the 50s under mostly sunny skies. Temperatures warming into the 60s late this morning, followed by the 70s this afternoon with just a mix of clouds and sun, and easterly winds today at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Similar conditions in store for tomorrow with highs in those low 70s, mostly sunny skies, upper 70s as we head into Friday and also into Saturday. And then we're warming up into the 80s Sunday and also into that first half of next week with a mix of clouds and sunshine. So overall, those quiet conditions should last here over the next several days.
Well, bummer, next week doesn't look too great.
Why not?
Oh, maybe it's just Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll watch for Wednesday. Right now, it's a small chance for storms.
Thanks, Derek. And thank you for watching News 8 Now. Don't forget to keep up with the news of the day on news8000.com. We will have the latest updates to today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. Have a great morning, everyone, and thank you for watching News 8 Now.